Welcome everyone to the fifth game of Rewriters of History. I think it's the fifth game. Today we're going to start the first rewriting. Okay, I'm really excited about this. But before we start off with the Nicholas Flamel adventure, there is still things your characters need to do to prepare before they go inside of the great book and change history. So, your characters, we mentioned you had a total of 3 days in order to prepare for the writing. And so you had started the preparations. We had done 1 day for everyone where they were preparing things. And then we are currently on the second day. And Stefan, you had mentioned you wanted to do research on Albert the Great.
Yep.
Can you make a documentation check?
Yeah, well, basically I want to know what was Flamel searching in the writing.
Oh, wow. Critical success. Here's what you learned from historical texts. The Saint Albert the Great was born around the year 1200 in Bavaria, Germany, and he was a philosopher, a theologian, naturalist, and a chemist. And he worked really hard to expand knowledge on natural science and classification of animals, and blending the science of the time with faith. And he had a very famous student called Thomas of Aquin. He was trying to merge the two philosophies of religion with reason and trying to make it work together. And so both of these characters were Neo-Hermes. You have access to some Neo-Hermes knowledge concerning these people, and thanks to your research, you find that Albert the Great failed to complete his work in white, and his diva got stuck inside of an object in his alchemical lab. His diva got stuck inside of a skull, and he died after that, unable to free his diva. And his student, Thomas, took the skull and, without managing to free the diva, hid it away to preserve the diva. And neither of them managed to free the diva. But Nicholas Flamel, when he learned the same thing that you're learning now from the Neo-Hermes archives, decided that he wanted to try to do something about it. So he tried to decode the ciphers around the skull left by Thomas in order to find the skull and free the diva within it.
Do we know whose skull was that, or is it not important?
The owner of the skull, it's lost to history. It was a skull just being used for study of anatomy.
Do we actually know who started the Neo-Hermes?
Yes, I believe I gave you access to the lore of the Hermes, but to be more specific, until the year 0, there were no Neo-Hermes, and a group of 3 Hermes, who are remembered nowadays as the 3 mages in the Bible, met with Joseph and realized that Joseph was a supernatural creature. They don't know what he was. He wasn't a diva, he was something totally different. But he talked with them and convinced them to stop adhering to the principles of neutrality of the Hermes and to try to fight for the light. And that is when they created the Neo-Hermes, and they came up with a new philosophy to try to spread the knowledge that the Hermes were trying to hide.
Okay. So we don't bring anything of equipment with us when we go to the...
None at all.
Okay. Did Flamel actually found the skull?
That is unknown to history.
Well, it's a big clue, so I don't have any more ideas. What should I research?
Jonathan, you said you wanted to use your network to get more ideas on Selena Murray. Mm-hmm. You're going to get those answers towards the middle of the second day. What is your character doing before that?
A mix of what I did the first day, gonna do my own things, check my equipment, and try to gather information, pretty much.
Okay. On your lunch break, Stephanie Jones comes to see you, and she has a few papers with her. And she says, okay, I finished doing that research you wanted me to do on Mrs. Murray. It's not really interesting. There isn't a lot to know about her. She had a career as a scientist. She studied in different schools and participated in conferences on astronomy and stuff like this. All of this nerd stuff, it goes a bit over my head. And the only thing that's really interesting that happened is that 3 years ago, she got into a car accident with a journalist that she was going to have an interview with, and they drove off of a road coming down from Mauna Kea, and the car was totally wrecked. The journalist was killed, and she managed to get out. She was really lucky. She got out without a scratch. That's all I could find that was really interesting on her.
When it was again?
3 years ago.
Okay. Thank you for your research.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna check out if I can find something else about this accident.
Okay. You have the domain police, right?
I do. And I have press too.
And how much is your network?
8.
Okay, 8. Cool. So you have a look at the police report of the accident. The police report explains that the car crash was reported as an accident. Apparently, the driver, who was the journalist, was acting really weird at the time. She said to her coworkers that she was working on something big. The police came to the conclusion that she believed she had found proof of aliens, and because of that, they just think she was acting weird at the time, and they link it to the reason why she wasn't careful enough and drove off of the cliff. You get pictures of the car, and the car drove off of a cliff and landed in a forest that was really steep, and most of the car looks really badly damaged, but it looks like one of the back seats wasn't completely crushed. And that's where Selena Murray says that she was in the car when the car crash happened. And thanks to your connections in the press, you are able to find that the journalist was a rather serious person. Her name was Haunani Kiri'i. She was Hawaiian. You find that one of her co-workers at the newspaper Maui News is still working there, and Haunani had written a lot of articles that were really serious, and it seems a bit strange that she would try to write an article about aliens. It doesn't seem in
What kind of article? Usually what she was publishing.
She did a lot of local news, and she did some scientific articles.
And that was the journalist that was talking about aliens, or the professor that was with her?
That was the journalist, Haunani. She had talked to her co-workers about having a big scoop, and in a police report, Selena said that she was talking about aliens.
That's weird. Again, it's not like things were normal recently, but...
You're saying it's even more weird than fake traveling back in time to solve a murder?
Well, more I don't know,
These
but
are on
at
the air.
least that's weird. I'm gonna try to go and talk to the co-worker of the journalist.
Do you go alone? Do you take Stephanie or one of the members of Project Ascension with you?
I'm going alone. The only thing is I want someone in my office to watch the equipment if something's happened.
Yeah, they will keep a watch on the equipment. I know what you're talking about. This is the thing we keep talking about in French. So you go to Maui News and you find this person working at a desk, and they're the one that you contacted, and they are a friend of the journalist that was killed in the car crash.
For the reference, my character will use either she or he, depending on what he found. If the person tell it to me after...
They mentioned it in an email when you were meeting up.
Okay.
You meet up in the office of Maui News, and they say, "Oh, hello, you're the private investigator who was looking into my friend?"
Yes, I'm Irregulus. Nice to meet you. Lemoni Palakiko.
Hold on. No, it's not this character. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Panakiko's. It's this person, Jamie Torres, who you have a meeting with.
Nice to meet you, Jamie Torres.
Nice to meet you. Can I ask why you're looking into this after 3 years?
Just before I ask the question, Simon, how reliable seems to be this journalist according to the work?
They have been working in this journal for over 5 years, and they've put out a lot of articles, so they seem to be a good enough reporter to have kept their job. And
That's a good start.
and they are mostly working on local news and talking about tourism. For example, they did a very accurate piece on your family that works in the tourism industry in Hawaii.
Okay. In fact, to answer your question, I was doing some research about the person that was with your friend in the car crash, and I found out that Mrs. Murray was with your friend Honani Kelly. Sorry if I mispronounce it.
It's Haunani Keli'i. In Hawaiian, you say you pronounce
Honani
it
Kelly.
Keli'i. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was curious about the circumstance of the crash because according to what I found, your colleague was talking about aliens or something like that?
She wasn't talking specifically about aliens. She was reporting on the new technology used at the Gemini Observatory.
Ah, okay.
It's
Yeah.
something called adaptive optics technology and multi-conjugated adaptive optics. It's really complicated stuff, but it allows the Gemini Observatory to filter out interference from the atmosphere. And she said she'd found something really big, but the only person who ever talked about it being aliens was Selena, my friend. She had an interview with her, and she said she was going to write the article of the century, and then the crash happened. And but it doesn't seem like her to be writing to talk about aliens. I always found that really weird. But
Did she talk
The
to
person-
you about something the day before, the same day? Do you remember something that could maybe explain the thing?
she just said that the telescope. She was really looking into what the telescope could do, and then found something really interesting, but she wasn't sure about what she had found, and that's why she didn't talk to anyone about it, not until she had, an interview with proof, and she never...
Did you find the notes about the article she was writing?
No, I think they must have been in the car. We never found out what she was talking about.
Do you still have her computer?
She didn't have one.
Oh yeah, that was
She-
in '95. And personally, do you know something about Professor Murray?
I know that she's some sort of really important scientist, so everybody believed her when she talked about Haunani talking about aliens, but I don't believe her.
Why do you say that?
It just doesn't sound like Haunani. I had talked to her about like aliens and ghosts and stuff like this, because I'd like to think that there's other things out there, but she didn't believe in that. Have you found anything on that, Selena? Because I'd like to know if you're onto something, if I could write an article on it.
So far, no. I'm trying to gather information, but you won't publish anything until I approve, correct?
I can hold back information until... I'll need to check whatever you tell me anyways.
When I found the accident and everything, I found it weird, so it's why I wanted to come and talk to you, but do you have the same feeling as me that she was never in the car?
No, I don't think her vest was scraped by the accident, and so the police concluded that she did get hurt. It's just that she was really lucky that the car seat she was in the back was spared.
Simon, I was telling that because you tell me she get out without a scratch, so it's why I said that.
Yeah, it was just her clothing that was torn, not her.
If I find anything else, you'll be the first one I'll tell. So far, I don't have anything else that I can tell you, but Simon, were there any sign, any, brakes fail or something like this?
It would be hard to tell with the state of the car, but they didn't find anything that made them suspicious.
Can I, after I leave here, give every papers about the accident to an independent expert so he can take his own conclusion, like pictures, report, and everything?
You can try to have it analyzed by somebody else. I'll come back to you at a later point to see if there's anything else.
Sure. If you remember anything about that day, anything that you think that could be or could not be relevant, or anything that might even not be important to you, just give me a call and I'll see if it can fit in my puzzle.
Okay. Well, there was one weird thing. It's just how Nani said that she was going to make the interview at the observatory, and then they left in the car together and then had the accident. But Mrs. Murray said that they were just coming back to the newspaper. And that's when they had the accident. It's just, I don't know, weird that I don't understand who comes with you for an interview and goes in the back seat. That's just weird to me.
I agree. It was your friend's car, correct?
Yes. Anyways, if you find anything, I'll be really interested, but I have to get back to work or my boss is going to be angry.
Yeah, and if I can just ask you one thing, until I come back, do not dig too much about the observatory and Professor Murray, okay?
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna check if she's lying or not.
Just remember, we still have a volcano. And before you ask, no, I'm never going to give that up.
It's going to be like soup. We're never going to let go of soup. Okay, you successfully look at them, and it turns out that Jamie doesn't seem to think that there is anything else to find. They might have looked into it before and not have found anything, and just they don't think you're going to either.
I'm gonna go back to work until I get the results of my analysis.
Okay, what about the other characters?
Is there any counter-surveillance stuff available in this observatory? My character would like to sweep the room for bugs and other monitoring devices.
Okay, you can make a search check.
Really hoping for technology. That's why I was asking about actual gear.
Okay. Since you're an Anubis, and Anubis are all about uncovering secrets to find new Hermes, I think your character would have access to proper equipment to make the roll with technologies. And Jonathan, can I ask you to make a stealth check, please?
Mm-hmm.
And you need to roll higher than 23.
I was about to check the list of private penalty. I was hiding it carefully.
You can take risk if you want to make it worse if Oliver does find something.
Okay, I'm gonna take efficacy.
I'm imagining you signed your name on one of the devices. Please return to.
Absolutely.
Critical failure.
Yeah, that is a failure. So, Oliver, you find that not exactly inside of the observatory, but just outside of one of the exits, there are mics that have been set up to observe anything that might happen there. And this is exactly where you had the conversation with the jackal 2 days ago. And there is a serial number on the mic that can be traced.
And at least don't forget someone is monitoring the equipment actually.
Yeah.
I'll record the serial number, but I'm just going to destroy the device. I'm not going to trace it right now.
Okay.
I am going to ask the jackal if he put any surveillance gear in before I destroy it.
He did not, and he would be really interested to know where you found surveillance equipment. It might be from Selena Murray, it might be from someone else, but it's important.
Well, I'll tell him I was running a sweep to make sure there is no surveillance devices in the observatory, and I found it just outside. I am going to leave out that there is a tracking number, though.
Okay. So the jackal says, all right, I am going to take it up with Selena, and we will work it from there. Great job. It's good of you to make sweeps like this. You know what? once the observatory has found out who Flamel's students are, I want you to come with me. We're going to track them down wherever they are in the world. It's time that you went on your first mission as an Anubis, and judging on how well you're doing, one day maybe you might inherit the title of Jackal after I'm gone.
You're talking about a mission that doesn't involve sitting in a room with a computer?
There might be computers involved in finding those Neo-Hermes scum.
Oh, well, I mean, as long as I don't have to go out and do anything. So.
But yes, we are going to take a trip outside of Hawaii, wherever our search for Flamel's students take us.
Well, I mean, it is awfully hot here, so it'll be nice to get somewhere else. Oliver is looking not all that happy about going into the field.
Is Oliver trying to hide those emotions or not?
Yeah.
Okay, roll for
Just
subterfuge.
Feeling all that happy about it. There we go. All right, so he thinks I'm ecstatic about this?
Yeah. He thinks you're pretty glad that you're, getting the promotion you deserve.
Been waiting your entire life for this moment.
After he goes to talk with Selena, he comes back to you saying Selena didn't put any recording devices there, and he doesn't know who did, so he's going to actually reinforce security in the Gemini Observatory to try to find out who did it, and he asks you to search into it while he concentrates on Project Crusade.
I'll get right on it.
And what is Philip doing?
I mean, he definitely would be going over just the general history of Nicholas Flamel to make sure, he's familiar with everything.
Mhm.
I don't know if he would have personal interest in things much deeper than that. Not sure.
Would you, for example, read any of Flamel's books to get an idea of what his personality might have been to imitate him?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting ready to, take on his persona.
Okay. What we can do is you can make documentation checks, and
Okay.
every documentation check that you succeed will give you a +3 bonus at a different time when you're trying to impersonate him or when you're trying to recall information about him during the game. And remember, you can use primes and penalties. For example, you can take your time so that the roll is for an entire day. In exchange for that, you can get the prime to give you a bonus to your roll.
That sounds really good. I'll do that.
You get 3 rolls because you have 3 days, if you want
Okay.
to concentrate on just that.
Oh my god. Well, there's one.
You will have 1 + 3 to imitate Flamel. It's probably because your character might have a difficult time piecing out someone's personality based on their writings.
Absolutely, yeah. He wasn't a theater kid. He doesn't know how to do this.
Well, I'll do as I was told and start to look into the bug.
Okay.
It would be good to know who it is. I'm not necessarily going to tell the Jackal, because that could be quite unfortunate for someone.
Okay.
But I will do my best to find out who, and I'll stretch that out for as long as possible.
Do you have a domain that would justify you having contacts that could help you find a serial number? And if yes, how much network do you have?
Computers or intelligence service?
Yeah.
And I have a network of 8.
Network of 8, okay, yeah. You put the request in, and the serial number comes back as linked to a private investigation agency in Hawaii.
All right, and I'm going to stop right there and not go any farther.
Going back to Eric, you are driving back from your meeting with Jamie, and you get a phone call from Stephanie Jones who says, "Hey, boss, something interesting happened. Someone found the bugs that you planted at the observatory."
Who?
Let's see. He is handsome. He has very pretty black hair, and he looked like he was looking for bugs and stuff like that. He gives you a description, and it's Oliver.
Did you catch why he started to look for that?
No, he already looked like he was looking when he went outside.
You didn't catch any part of the conversations that could explain why he was looking for that?
He was looking for it alone.
Is there any way that he can come back to us?
I don't know. Why? Is this about to get interesting?
No, I'm not. I'm laughing at Theo's writing in the chat.
I just think Steph's reaction to having the hidden camera found out seems like the epitome of that FBI agent meme, where it's just like, I hope the FBI agent watching me through my camera thinks that I'm pretty.
Eric, what do you do?
Did he find all the material?
Yes, once he found the camera, he looked for everything else and took everything.
So they're all offline now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll handle this.
Okay. Every time I find something, you tell me that you'll handle the rest. Is something going on? Please let there be something going on. Are we in trouble?
How high do I trust her? She was with me in the car at the beginning of the game. I have no clue who's that.
I guess it's up to you how much you trust her, but she's one of your employees. You've been working with her for a while, but before the first time you took her to Mauna Kea, she didn't go on the terrain a lot.
What do I know about her past?
She worked in security in the past. She was working as a security agent for different places in Hawaii, so she knows how security works usually and where cameras are put and what the rounds are for guards in different places, things like this. And she also knows how to get through security. And you hired her because she has those skills that can be interesting. And she's also pretty good at piecing together clues, which is why you talk with her on some cases and she helps you put everything together. And because of your character's standards for crime and stuff like this, I don't think you would have hired her if she had any criminal records, so she doesn't. And she is a really big fan of buddy cop movies.
Of what?
Buddy cop movies. It's the movies with two partners that have to learn how to work together and solve a case.
Okay. They told me in the observatory to do not say anything to anyone, right?
Yeah.
Probably multiple times by multiple people.
Including the volcano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mentioned a couple times when we started off.
Okay, I'm gonna answer her. I hate to have to restrain information to you, but okay, let's meet later tonight, 10 p.m. at your place.
This is a professional meeting, right, boss?
You'll be paid.
That's
no. No, yes.
That's not what I was asking.
Doesn't answer the question!
I meant, yes, it's work related, so you'll be paid with work. But yes, that's a professional meeting.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Sorry for the confusion. Well, I'll see you. We can see at another place if you want.
Yeah, how about at work?
Yeah, at the office at 10. Just make sure there's no bug or anything at the office, okay?
You got it, boss. She hangs up, and
That went so well. Ooh.
How old is she? Just so I know.
she's 33.
Okay. Sometimes things doesn't come out as I want.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna continue my stuff until that.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to be a part of this story, we are currently looking for more players and game masters to play new games in this setting and on this channel. You can also be a part of the story by having your face added to the cast of characters. I draw all of the images for this game, and you can commission me to make you into an NPC. If you like the style and you want a drawing like that of yourself, or if you want to contribute to the project, you can contact me through the links in the description. Finally, if you want to keep up with all of the adventures on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you can get a notification each time we upload the next episode of this story. And it would be very nice of you to like and share the video to help this channel grow. Have a nice day, everyone.